In 1938, Harvard researchers embarked on a decades-long study to find out what makes us happy in life. The researchers gathered data from more than 700 participants from all around the world and asked them detailed questions about their lives at 2-year intervals. This study has gone on for 85 years with the singular goal of understanding what makes human beings happy. Contrary to what you might think, it's not career achievement or money, exercise, a new car, or even a healthy diet. The overwhelming and incontrovertible evidence is that positive relationships keep us happier, healthier, and help us live longer. Period. Full stop. In other words, positive connections to other people are good medicine for our bodies and our souls and our spirits. We remember the saints because they understood this before Harvard told us it was true. Almost all of the saints of the church were folks who put other people and their relationship with God first in their lives. St. Francis, St. Patrick, St. Christopher, St. Nicholas, Mother Teresa, all of them understood that it was through service to others that we would find fulfillment and purpose. This morning, we also read aloud in our necrology the saints that haven't made it into the church calendar. They are friends and relatives, teachers, doctors, neighbors, who taught us something important about being human. It's why it's important to be reminded that we also have the power to share love with others, to listen and care, and that can impact people's lives. When we talk about relationships or love, it can sound easy, trite. Mr. Rogers, Fred Rogers, who belongs in my pantheon of saints, said this about love. Love isn't a state of perfect caring. It is an active noun, like struggle. To love someone is to strive to accept that person exactly the way he or she is, right here and right now. That's not easy. That's heroic work. I spend most of my life working and being in relationship with other people. That is the blessing of being a priest. It is also the cost of it. I have sat in waiting rooms holding my breath to hear biopsy results and prayed through the night when the news was bad. But the hardest thing that I have ever done in my life professionally was in November 2017. Press Gifford had been in the hospital for about 6 months, and about 4.5 months into his recovery, his wife, Cherry, who was 15 years younger than he was, became very ill. The two of them shared a room at Lutheran Care, and I enjoyed visiting them during their stay. They were a charming couple, always full of news and fun. Cherry had to go into the hospital for an operation, and while she was there, she took a sudden downhill turn and passed away. Press was still in their room, weak and struggling, and his daughter, who needed to be at the hospital with her mother, called and asked if I could go and tell him the news that his wife had passed away. So I went to his room at Lutheran Care to break this horrible and heartbreaking news. Now, you should know that Press Gifford had three great loves in his life. The first was his family. The second was Harvard, where he had gone as an undergraduate. And the third was the Episcopal Church. He loved everything about the Episcopal Church, and he had been the verger at Christ Church for many years, wearing his Harvard academic robes each Christmas Eve and Easter morning. I decided to take the Book of Common Prayer along with me. I had marked a few prayers and passages from the burial service, and I thought that Press would especially appreciate those comforts. So I sat beside his bed and told him the awful news that his wife had died. We cried together, and then he closed his eyes and asked me to pray. I turned to the Book of Common Prayer and began reading the collects from the burial service. But when I stopped, he reached over and tapped my prayer book to indicate that I should keep going. Every time I paused or needed to wipe the tears from my eyes, he would tap my prayer book as if to say, keep going, keep reading. And that's how it was that I read the service for the burial of the dead for Press's wife, Cherry, with him in Lutheran Care. I kissed his cheek when I left. It was the last time I saw him alive. He passed away 2 days later. And within a week, I was standing in this church reading those same prayers for him. Sometimes when we talk about the Beatitudes, we think of them as a list that all Christians should aspire to in this world. But I believe that the Beatitudes actually are describing the cost of love, the vulnerability that comes when we truly offer ourselves to others. Blessed are the poor in spirit. Blessed are those who mourn. Blessed are the meek. Blessed are those who hunger and thirst for righteousness. Blessed are the merciful. Blessed are the pure in heart. Blessed are the peacemakers. These are the consequences of following Jesus' commandment to love one another faithfully and all the way through. As anyone who has really ever tried to love another person can tell you, it is hard work. It calls for our weakness and our strength, our compassion and our advocacy. It calls us to silence, and it calls us to use our voice. Rilke said, for one human being to love another human being, that is perhaps the most difficult task that has been given to us. The ultimate, the final proof and problem, the work for which all other work is merely preparation. Our relationships make us happy in a way that no other success in life can. But our relationships also come with a great price. They challenge us, humble us, cause us to experience uncertainty and grief. The Beatitudes remind us that, as the Beatles once sung, the love we take is equal to the love we make. We are blessed by our memory. We are blessed by love. And God blesses the great price of being human and reminds us that even with the cost, it is the only gift worth having, the gift of love for ourselves, for our neighbors and friends and family, for all of us in this broken world. It is the key. Amen.
The company of saints in majesty displayed, triumphant faith, rich reward, yet great still in might, and humbler still in love and grace, is he who came to save them from death. The saints of